Okay, we're live. We is live. Do not fear. Saf is here, and this is Saf Buxy from Saf Surgery, and we are Spirituality Gone Wild. Hoo-ha! What a week I've had, and what a week we're gonna have today. Because today's guest, I feel humbled. I feel honored. I just feel inspired already, and I haven't even had her on yet. This is inspirational people, inspirational stories. We are in direct collaboration with Spirituality Gone Wild, and of course Unified.org, Love Coach Academy, and so many other platforms. And I feel blessed to be part of this wonderful, wonderful platform. And today I'm going to welcome Maddee Chan. Now, Maddee's story is incredible. It features abandonment, rejection, harassment, physically and mentally, abuse, life-threatening experiences, drug taking, drinking with association, playing the victim, being a doormat. These are her own words, journeying through different facets of love, from the darkest grey shadows, being self-destructive and destructive upon others, to having 7 years of fully waking, cleansing, meditating, purging, releasing her pain into the universe, relapsing at times, but replacing it with unconditional love. And her love, her sense of self, her love for humanity, her love for home, the planet Earth, a higher sense of purpose than herself. This has all helped to serve others, and through her story. Without her story, she wouldn't be able to serve the way she serves. And today, I am literally blessed to have her here, to not just serve me, but to serve every one of you who is watching this live, and every one of you who's going to be watching the replays globally. Without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the one and only, the living legend. It is Maddee Chan. Where you at, Maddie? Where you at?
Hey, hi,
Hey,
Saf.
how you doing? How you doing? You
Uh,
okay?
yeah, I'm well. I'm well, and I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to be on your platform, Saf Surgery, and you're so inspirational, and it's amazing the work that you've done, and how you help so many people and serve so many people. And there's got to be more people like Saf. There needs to be more people like Saf, a
Well, there needs to
leader.
be more. Thank you very much. I mean, and today's show is entirely about you, and it's myself. It's my opportunity to honor you, and to basically let you take this stage, take this rostrum, even though we're not sitting on anything, but take this platform and give the message of hope that you have. I mean, I met you not so long ago, to be fair.
No, so long ago.
It wasn't long ago. It was a lovely little coffee shop in the south of England, southeast of England, and I was meeting a very good friend of yours, and he is now a very good friend of mine, Rocco
Exactly.
Buonvino,
Yeah.
and you happened to be with Rocco, and I think our attraction, because we share the same love, and that's the love of spirituality, that's the
Yeah.
love of change, the love for transformation, the love to make a difference, and the love to spread the message of hope. And I think we connected very quickly. I remember having my having my cappuccino with my oat milk, and
Absolutely. I remember that.
and
Yeah.
it was a beautiful moment, and we spoke because Rocco, as people will find out in due course and watch this space, and Maddie is part of what's going to be happening in due course. But Rocco's a producer, and he was obviously very busy on the phone, and he went out, and we had a discussion, and it there were so many similarities with our stories. But not only that, we we shared the same fight, the fight against injustice, the fight,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
fight, the fight for love, the fight for the message, the fight for the purpose. And I think from that day on, I knew that we would be friends for life, and we would definitely meet many times, not just through the work that we're doing with Rocco, but in other ways as well.
Yes,
So
I
thank you,
believe so. I
thank you.
believe so with all my heart.
Oh, thank you very much. And then look, I mean, I could go on speaking for ages, but today it's not about me. It's about you, Maddie. So please start wherever you want to start. I guess the best place to start is probably from the beginning. So over to you.
Yeah. Um, hmm. First, I want to say that all my past and everything that I went through um, has been, how can I say, has happened for a reason in order to become the person that I am now.
Yeah.
Although at that time I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it, and you just go through the process.
Hmm.
But now I have a clarity within me where everything that I went through, the colors of my past, has led me to create the colors of my voice in order to find the colors of my future, but not with different voices, with one true voice. And that is who I am. Everything that I am, my soul, everything, myself, my God divinity, basically. But I don't want to go too far into that spectrum right now. Yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter and an artist. And when I was young, well, actually, when I was a baby, I'll go back a little
Yeah.
bit. Basically, it's a similar story in the way, and I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to it. My mom, bless her, she was a good mom in a way. She was like a headmistress, she kind of cared, but there was no love. There was no love. That's purely because her mother died at birth when she was giving birth to her. So therefore, her programming was she didn't have mother nurturing qualities. So of course, when she had me and my brothers and my father, it's a situation where an English woman, a Chinese guy at that time, it was very difficult for East meets West, basically, to have a relationship. But they had love. They were in love. They were. And one day he just went off. He left. My mom couldn't take care of my brothers, so they got taken into care, and they were put into an orphanage. But thankfully, in the way that when they did become adopted, they both were adopted with the same family. Meantime, my mom married my stepfather, and then they had two more children. I was okay with my stepfather, it was okay. But there was this what can I say, dysfunction there. There was a disconnection there, and it all began when I came away from the family, when my sister, as what they do when they're younger, they steal some money, whatever, from mom's purse, and I said, something inside me said, it was weird. I just said, I did it. And the reason why I said that at the time was I was thinking in my heart, I am not his real daughter. So if he found it was his real daughter, it would upset him more. So I said, I did it. And I wasn't prepared for the reaction. And then he just said, oh, no thieves are to live under my house and all this. So I was basically thrown out. So then I went to live with a lovely woman, Mrs. Abbas, and her children, and she was going through a divorce and that. And it was really strange because she kept coming to, they kept coming to visit me every weekend, and I was doing a YTS, kind of a, and I got, I started to get harassment there as well, a computer company. I don't know what, it was just a case of, I was serving coffee to the board of directors one day, and there was this picture of this provocative woman with stockings on and everything. And I mean, and they said, oh, do you like that? Do you like that? And they were very suggestive with me. They didn't do anything to me, thank goodness, but they were very suggestive. And in a modern day now, that would be harassment. I did tell my supervisor, and she turned around and said, oh, don't worry, you're just being initiated. It's okay. It's okay. We all do that to the juniors. It's fine. They're just having a laugh. They're not going to harm you. Don't worry. But still, it's not nice. It's not nice to go through. So then I went back home. I was allowed to go back home. Started to see my brothers a little bit. But it was still upsetting when they had to go back. And I just felt it wasn't right back at home anymore. It just wasn't. I already had my freedom, so I So then I decided. I want to sing. That's what I want to do. I want to sing. So I went and applied for Stage and Television Today, which is a paper where it advertises for actors and actresses and castings and dancers and theatrical, really. And it said about a company wanting to a girl group. So I went there, went for the audition, and came back, and I got it. And and it was like, wow, I'm 19. And well, actually, I was just turned 18, so it was my 18th year, yeah. And my stepfather said, I don't want you going. And my step grandma said, oh, Helen, which is you can't. Said to my mum, you can't let your daughter go there. But my mum said, no, she wants to go. She's insistent. So then I went to London, and everything was working out nice. And as with everything, suddenly there's no money for the project, and the whole project goes, it stops. And this was for Virgin Record Company.
Wow.
So it stopped. And I thought to myself, do I go back home? But I didn't want to go back home because I was thinking, I'm a failure. It's not good. So then my mom came down to see me and said, well, darling, you need to get a job. My mom, bless her, she was into Margaret Thatcher at the time. And she says, oh, darling, look, there's a job here. Number 10, you can work here. It's number 10. So I went for the interview and I thought, okay. I said, Mom, are you sure about this? And she said, yes, darling, it's number 10. You should. Okay, all right. I go because my mom wants me to go, and you listen to your parents. You really do. So I went there, and it turned out to be a Japanese club, like a karaoke club. And so I began working there. And then it was really strange in the way that it wasn't working out. So then I met somebody, and I went to another Japanese club, Wisteria it was called, and it was in central London. And I remember there was all these girls. We were all sitting down at a table, and suddenly a group of men, Japanese men, came in, and they look, and the mama-san says, oh, which girl do you want at your table? Yeah, so all these girls were there parading on this table. We're allowed to have, actually we weren't allowed to have alcohol. We weren't. not on the table by ourselves. We weren't, I mean, we were just in a group. And then these guys would come round and look at you, you know, just, it was a case of everyone was in a survival mode. You know, we had to get chosen, otherwise we wouldn't get paid as much money. And I remember I wasn't getting chosen, and I was thinking, I'm just getting basic wage here. And the other girls, and what they had to do was sit at the table, light the cigarettes for the gentlemen, and talk to them. That's it. There was no hanky panky, no touchy feely, nothing like that. That was not allowed in Japanese clubs. Not allowed at all. In fact, the mama-san, she would say, absolutely no. You know, this is not this. You know, what you do after, and the girls weren't supposed to take the personal details of the people that they're sitting with anyway. The businessmen, they weren't supposed to, but obviously they did. And anyway, it worked out that they found out that I could sing because it was a karaoke club. So I was thinking, I can't continue being destructive like this. This is destructive for me. It's making me feel I'm shit. I'm worthless. And the girls would have competition as well. You know, they really would, because they were just struggling. They might have had family themselves, whatever. They had to make sure they get the money in. And basically, I got a job as going to the tables and singing. So I started to get my money with just singing at the tables. I even sang for Robert Palmer, who came in one day. He did.
Wow.
Yeah, he did. And I sang, and he sang all, bless him, he's gone now, but he sang all his songs, and they were fabulous. They were fabulous, you know, and it was a lovely moment, a really lovely moment. And he said, I suppose you want my autograph? And I said, no, I don't, because I haven't asked for it. And he went, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, he demanded me to be taken off the table.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but that's only because it's ego. You know, he's on to another plane now. But that is somebody's ego. Someone who's used to having everything at their beck and call. So that was my first experience of ego, definitely. And then I met some girls, and they told me about because after the club, we go on to a nightclub, you know, to relax and just chill out, and just not actually chill out, just dance and just come away from who we were. So we did that, and then I started to get into ecstasies. I started to go to like Ministry of Sound and things, and ecstasies, and I'm sure there's a lot of people have done that, and
I have.
And what I'm trying to say here now, Saf, is that, you know, it's important to pay attention to the present, to what's actually going on. Because if I would have paid attention to what was actually being said to me, then maybe that would not have happened to me. And this is sometimes when something is going to happen to you in a bad way, you get warnings, or you get certain people giving you indications or signs. But if you're not in the present moment, you miss it all. You miss it all. And I befriended this guy, me and my friend, in Chinatown. And he was a really sweet guy. He was a bit of a joker. And he was one of the supermarket sons. Anyway, he said to me, you know something? He said, you have to avoid blue dots. You have to avoid blue dots at all costs, blue dots. And I went, blue dots? What do you want about? You know, I didn't know what blue dots were. So I thought, I just shrugged it off. didn't even think about it. And then I was with this girl one day, and she said, have you heard of these parties where people get paid for certain things, for certain 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 people to be taken advantage of? And I wasn't listening. And she says, you've got to be careful because there's some bad people going around, and you've got to be careful who you hang around with. And I remember I was at the club that night, and I was sitting with this Japanese guy, lovely Japanese man, and he said to me, you know what? Come away from all this, and I'll take you to Japan. I'll treat you like a princess. You come away from this. You are much better than this, but come away with me now, as in away now. And then my friend says, oh, come on, let's go to a party. We're going to go to a party. We're going to go Ministry of Sound. Come on, let's party. And then in my mind, it was thinking, do I want to go off? I thought, I'll think about this guy, whatever. I'm thinking, I'm just going to go to a party. So I had 3 warnings. I had 3 warnings. And I didn't take notice of it.
3 warnings, meaning don't take the blue dots.
Yeah.
Someone asking you to get away from that lifestyle.
Yes.
And what was the 3rd one again? Remind me.
When the guy said, you're too good for this.
Too good for this.
Come away. Let me help you.
Yeah. But you know what, Maddie? I'm a strong believer that the universe works in such a way that, you know what, it panned out the way it panned out, and
Yeah.
look how it's serving you today. Look, just like me, I must have had 50 warnings, and I still did what I did. But
Yeah.
look how it's serving us now to serve everyone else. So yeah, please. So you went to this club and you had the blue dots, you had the ecstasy, right?
I didn't have the blue dots.
You didn't.
I had the ecstasy. And
What
then usually we'd go home. But then my friend says, listen, we'll go to another party at somebody's house, and that's when it all just
What happened? I mean, obviously, only speak about what you feel safe about, what you feel comfortable about.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not detached to it as much now, and I just don't want that to happen to anyone. I remember in the TV room, them all, and they're watching this film, like Chinese chopping, whatever it was. It wasn't nice anyway. And one of the guys said to me, come on, let's go. We'll go into the other room. And I was going, oh, okay, why not? Yeah, and started kissing and things, and things started to get a little bit kind of, it's okay. I didn't do anything with him. I just was kissing him, and next minute, these other guys walked in, and yeah, they said to me that I had to take off my clothes and remember which, and then put them on again, and then say to them which item of clothing I took off. And if I couldn't remember, then they say they can do what they want to me. I'd already taken the blue dots. They presented me with this paper, with these blue dots, and it was really weird because I was looking at them, and it's like the blue dots were getting larger in front of me, and my friend said, go on, take it. I went, I don't know, I don't, go on, take it. Look, I'm taking it. But she didn't take it. She just pretended. So, yeah. Yeah, these guys came in, and had a go at me, each of them. And I remember waking up and hearing somebody going to work, and I was thinking, where am I? Where am I? Where am I? And this girl comes in. Oh, let's take her home. She's had enough. Time to take her home. Got taken home. Didn't know who I was anymore. Was completely confused. Ended up just putting some jeans on, going into the shop. And the shopkeeper was really worried about me. It's like a small convenience store, really worried. And I kept picking things up and just in a dream, just completely. So I think they rang the police. Next minute, I'm carted off in a police car. And all I could hear was a voice saying, don't tell them anything. Don't tell them anything. Don't tell them who you are. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Obviously, it was the paranoia of the drugs. That was me. And so I didn't tell them anything. And then I was interviewed, and then there was this person from if they don't get the information from you, then they get someone from like a social or something. I don't know who she was, but I still didn't tell them. The next minute, I get taken to St. Mary's Hospital. Yeah. And that was madness. There was this guy I befriended there who was writing poetry, funny enough, to Princess Diana, because he felt that Princess Diana would forgive him, because he took acid and ended up putting a tent peg through his friend, thinking it was putting his tent up. There was another woman who she went around thinking that she was a queen of India, but she had all stains on her nightie, and it was really strange, because I was talking to these people and I really felt something with them, and there was something really bonding. But when I came down from the drugs, when I came down from it, I woke up and I thought, I'm in a place of madness, complete madness. I can't get out. I don't know what to do. And it just so happened, this girl that got paid and betrayed me, she rung up the guy that from the Chinatown and said, you've got to find her. So he rang around and he found me, came to visit, and said, we're going to release her, but you have to be her guardian. You have to, not guardian, but look after her. You know, you have to be the one to vouch. I didn't tell my family because I just didn't want the embarrassment of it. I just didn't want it. So then I went to live with him. Everything was good. And then I started to experience racial. His mother was Chinese, and because I wasn't fully Chinese, I was considered guai meaning English white, white ghost. Guai is white ghost in Cantonese. So I was always referred as guai, never as my name. It turned out that I tried to make food for him, and she wouldn't have it. She would throw it away. When I went with him to go to their family's house, she'd make sure that she put a bowl there for me, but make sure that I don't have food. Because in Chinese, when you pass rice around, it's meant to be lucky, meant to be lucky, and she didn't. But all I was thinking is, thank God that I'm away from that life that I was living. Thank God I was away. And anyway, started to heal with him, and then I felt a bit stronger again, and I applied to stage and television again. And this was for the group, a well-known group actually, called Steps.
Oh well. Sorry, Maddie. I'm just still very much
Yeah.
in shock hearing your story.
Oh, there's a lot more. There's a lot more.
Yeah. It's you know what I mean. I apply a lot of my human behavioral work and a lot of my universal laws, and I've been looking, and I with my clients we try and look at the benefits of how a negative situation
Can
serves
turn
us.
into a
Yeah, yeah. And it's very difficult to look at the benefits of something like that you've been through. But there are, and the benefits does not mean that what you and I or other people, it
there.
means that it was right, it was very, very wrong.
There is some.
Um,
Sorry, Saf. There is something weird that I did do because when I came out of the hospital, the guy who became my boyfriend eventually said, "I want to break their legs. I want to do this. I want to do that." They did, and I said, "No, don't do any. Don't. It will happen. Don't worry. Don't you do it. Karma will come upon them." So I was out in Chinatown, and I bump into the leader who initiated the whole thing. And I went up to him. I held my hand out and I said, "Thank you for the lesson."
wow.
And he just jumped back and he went, "What the?" He went white, and he left. He ran from me. Now I'm thinking, was that the strength in me, or was that me just being so frightened that I had to face it?
How did it feel when you did that? Can you remember how it felt at that moment?
I felt, yes, justice is done.
That's all that matters. That's all that
Yeah,
matters.
I have an understanding also of, I don't know, we have this life and we have many other lives that we lead from different, maybe different worlds, or just different lives on this earth. Some of us are new embodiment. Some of us have been here thousands of years or more. And it could have been somehow in another life I was doing something, maybe not like that, but something, you see what I mean? It's and it might not be, but I tend not to go into it to understand it. I just have to go in with, that was a lesson for me. That was a lesson.
Before moving on to
Yeah.
the band,
Yeah.
what would you tell someone today who may have just gone through something similar to what you went through? What would you say to your younger self now? What would you tell to someone who's just been through what
Yeah.
you've been through, what you've just said? What would you say to them?
First of all, it's difficult to, because you can have all that hurt and you can have different emotions of, I want to get at them, I want to get them back, I want to do, oh, they've humiliated me. You know what? At the end of the day, people can bruise you, they can hurt you, they can hurt your flesh, they can hurt your body, but they cannot hurt your spirit, your soul. And it's your spirit and soul that carries you through, that comes through, that pushes through all that hurt, all that suffering. It pushes through. And that is the strength that you have to hold on. People can call people names. People can really hurt someone. People can mentally abuse someone. But that is the body. That is the mind. There's something that's more special that's within us. It's so special. Nothing can harm the inner being. Nothing. And the inner being is what gets you through your life, no matter what circumstance, tragedies, or life-threatening experiences. So when things like this happen, it's not the end.
That's
it's the beginning.
And you saying that is such a woman of wisdom, as someone who's so wise and spiritual right now. That's only a spiritual person like yourself could say that. And I guess you maybe at the time you didn't feel that, but I think
no, at the time I didn't. I think it was a case of, oh, I just want to show them that I'm not scared.
Yeah.
But now when I reflect upon it, it's like, do what you want to me, but at the end of the day, you can't hurt my being, who I am. You can't hurt that. This is so big. It's 30 feet high. It's 3 miles out here. You cannot hurt me.
Wow. And with that mentality, you carried on. And then tell us about Steps. How did that happen?
Steps is funny.
You were one of the original. You were one of the original singers and band members of Steps.
Oh my goodness! Well, it was manufactured. It was manufactured. We were going to where was it now? Oh gosh, I can't remember. We were going anyway. To this place every week to in the studio to learn how we're going to dance, choreography, how we're going to we recorded with Barry Upton, who was, I think he was connected with Sonia. In the 80s, Sonia, is it
Sonia with the red hair?
That's the one. Yeah. And we were going there. There was Lisa, Deggs, me, and Mitch, and everything was real fun, And Tim was saying, "I need you to bond more." So we did, but in a nice way, We just kind of hung out together and everything. And I remember this is coming from now control from certain people who have a certain dream or a project, but they need it to be the best they can, and they'll do anything they can to make it happen, even if it's at the cost of people losing themselves, or they're hurting, they're being destructive. And I was rehearsing with Steps. It was great, it was good. And then suddenly, Spice Girls were on there. Spice Girls were really popular, and the manager says, "Oh, we need to get this popularity like Spice Girls, this kind of marketing." So he said to me, "Okay, I want you for the Japanese market, Chinese." So he said, "From now on, you're not speaking English, you're Japanese." So we were rehearsing at Kensington Olympia, the studios, and we were doing rehearsals after rehearsals. My goodness, to try and get a record deal, because that's generally what happens when you're a manufactured band. Then you have to do lots of showcases, and it's upon the invite of A&R guys from the labels. And I remember it was after we'd just doing the dancing, and this guy, A&R guy, said to me, he said, "I don't care," he said, you're not Japanese. He said, I've been to Japan. He said, you're not Japanese. And he said, and I said, and he said, so where do you come from? And I said, oh, I come from Bradford. And I went, oh God, I was supposed to remember that. I was supposed to remember it. So that was about control. Then another thing for me was when we were performing a show for Jean-Luc Picard at Croydon, and we were doing lip sync, and it was for 5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, yeah.
Yeah, but this was before it was taken by the record company, Stockato Waterman. And so we were still doing our showcase to get a deal. And I remember drinking brandy after brandy. I was completely out of my head, really. Well, not out of my head, but just... And we were on stage, and we had to start off with our backs to the audience. And the other guys turned around, and I didn't. And then I turned around, and they were already at the second, the second line, and I was starting on the first line.
Oh dear!
And I thought to myself, "Oh, this is not good for me. This is," and it's really weird because I was questioning myself: should I carry on with this? And it's like something inside said to me, it said, "Don't worry, little one. It's not your time yet. You need to come away from this, and we promise you, when the time is right, you have this and more. But for now, you need to come away." And I thought, am I going a bit paranoid? What's going on? And anyway, I decided to leave, and Degs decided to leave, and Mitch did. And the thing is, oh my goodness, we just finished doing another showcase at Kensington Olympia, and the manager was really excited about everything. Oh, we're getting there. And then suddenly we said, I just said, I'm leaving. I said, I can't. And so did the other two. And he went, what? And can you imagine? I kind of felt sorry for him, really, if you think about it. He's been putting this project together, and suddenly 3 members want to go. So, yeah, we left. Wow. Then I got a call from him saying, listen, I really need you because you're representing the Asian market, and plus you can sing diva, powerful notes and everything. So, but I said no. Then Degs and I decided, let's put a band together. Well, not a band together. So I was Bjorg, and he was Peter. What's his name? Peter. The one with the dreads, and he was married to Jordan a long time ago.
Peter Andre.
Peter Andre. Yeah, he was Peter Andre. So then we said, yeah, we're going to Malaga. We're going to Spain. Yeah. So we went to Spain, and we were thinking, we're away from steps and everything. And so anyway, we were there, and we were doing a gig at the hotel, and our act was with strobe lights and everything. And what happened was, we went on stage, and I was there with my Bjorg, and we were called Fifth Dimension. Yeah, we were called Fifth Dimension. And anyway, the strobe lights were going on, and we started, and then realized in the audience there were very old people getting really like panicking because they thought that there was all these strobe lights. I don't know what happened. And then we got pulled off stage, and the stage manager said, I thought that you were a duet. I said, yeah, we are a duet. And he said, no, doing musicals and old time music. I said, no, we're not like that. He said, go. So we went to the airport, and as soon as we landed at Heathrow, who do we hear at a cafe? 5, 6, 7, 8. Released with jive.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. So how
And
old are you now then? How old are you when you came back?
oh, from steps.
Yeah.
Oh God, let me think. 25, 20. I was about 25, 26.
So basically from the ages of say 17, 18, with everything you went through, and
Yeah,
then you had this opportunity which you decided to leave,
yeah,
and then you go your own way. You're very strong, you're very young, and
yeah,
then you come back and you find out that the song that you initially sang or lip sync
yeah,
was in the charts,
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Wow, God.
Yeah, we both, Degs and I just looked and thought, what the heck have we done?
Hmm.
And then we split. And then I started to work on for an agency, acting agency in the admin department. And sometimes when the actors or extras couldn't turn up, then they'd say to me, then the owner would say, can you go? Because it was for United Afro Asian Artists.
Okay.
Because, but the thing is, they were very typecast, to be honest.
Hmm.
We were. We were very typecast at that time, you know. And so I met these guys, this manager, sorry, who happened to manage a band called Bedlam A Go-Go, signed with Sony.
Okay.
And we got friendly, just talking. And then he said, listen, one of the singers, the backing singers, she's not well. And we've got to do the Edinburgh and Glasgow. We've got to do all that tour. And we're supporting Finlay Quay.
Finley
I
Quell, I
went,
remember him. Yeah, yeah.
wow. Oh, wow. This is, ooh. So anyway, I thought, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I got the time off from work and went on rehearsed with the guys. So I think we had 2 weeks of rehearsal. 2 weeks of rehearsal. And I just had to do a couple of the songs. And what am I saying? First of all, I got cast into their music video. That's it. Season number 5. I played the pregnant Japanese clubber.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's when I kind of got to meet the guys. And one of the guys came from Bradford, where I came from. So everything, and then I met the management, Hedro management. And went there, and then they said, why don't come on tour? Okay, let's do this. So I went along, had a blast. It was fantastic. It was just going from singing at something in Croydon to a big auditorium, massive, and it was just an amazing experience. It was just, I felt so, it's almost like life was saying, okay, you may not be part of that, but we're going to bring something to you instead. And the guys were great. They really were. But here is where I got my experience of someone who likes of controlling an environment to please someone that helps to sustain their livelihood, their And so what happened? We just finished a gig. It was great because he was at home. It was at his hometown. It was his home place, and he was so getting carried away with that vibe. He said, "Let's do the show again."
Wow.
So the musicians were like, "What?" And the manager says, "Listen, just get back on your instruments and let's do it." This was not Hedro management, by the way, that said that. It was the management of Finlay at the time.
Yeah.
And Finlay is an amazing artist, absolutely amazing.
Such a talent. Such a talent.
Absolutely. But as with everything, if you're living in that life of people just rallying around you, you project that out. So it's almost what I say, what I do, what I want, I will get. That type. So that was my experience of what I just said about controlling to the point of just people, to the point of people feel uncomfortable, yet they won't say anything. They'll just go along with it anyway. So that was my experience there.
And how was your addiction by this time, or how was your drinking and drug taking?
Yeah, I mean, it was party. It was, but not sleeping around. Just drinking, and actually, it was quite strict on the bus. Very strict. Everybody had their, and because some of them they had families, you know, and they were good lads from Yorkshire, good lads, and they were really just loved their families, and they were speaking to their families all the time, and you know, they had the drink, they had the beers. But as far as I'm aware, I didn't see any groupie stuff or anything. Nothing like that. And they respected me too, you know. I was like one of the lads, which was really nice, because that could have gone the other way, considering what I went through.
Yeah.
But that didn't even occur to me. It's like gone. It's gone completely.
So when did things start to, when did you start changing or start transforming into the person you are today? When did you how did you, because you done some
Long
wonderful
time.
music.
Long time. It's
Yeah.
still a long time yet. Yeah, basically I got signed by another label,
Yeah.
which is good. Everything was good. I started to support Hazel Connor at La Scala in King's Cross, which was
I
really
know it
nice.
well. Know it well.
And I even did a show with for the Greg Dyke, who was the main chief executive of BBC, and they were celebrating 5.1 surround system.
Okay.
Yeah, and this was at the Hippodrome in Golders Green.
Oh, right. Okay.
Anyway, through the connections of BBC that my label were, they said, okay, we've got you a spot there where you're going to be with a band and you can perform your single, whatever, a couple of songs. So it was a personal invite to introduce, it's never been done before, the 5.1 surround sound. So I remember Bruce, who was a channel, Radio 2. Bruce, I can't remember his name. Anyway, I remember I was at the back of the stage, and the owner of the record label, who was my boyfriend at the time, said to me, whatever you do, make sure that you say the website. I went, okay, website, okay. So I sang, everything was good, and then got applause. We did. I went off. Bruce was talking in his radio, on his mic about the 5.1. And then I got off stage and went, oh my goodness, I've forgotten to say about the website. And I went running on stage. It's Bruce, you can have your turn in a minute. Hang on. Took the microphone for him and said, sorry, everyone, I forgot to say the website is www.an.da-da-da-da. And Bruce is like, just stunned, and everyone just went quiet, and I went, okay, I've said it.
Wow, God. That's amazing. That's amazing. So what? Bruce was okay afterwards? Was he fine? Was he?
Yeah, everything was fine after that. No problem.
Yeah.
There was
And
there was a time actually when I was in Hong Kong, and I got, oh my goodness, I was in Hong Kong with the guy that I was going out with, and I remember I was on the farm, And it was no, before I got there, it was we were crossing the old territories of Hong Kong, and you have to have your passport. And I was walking with him, with my boyfriend at the time, and suddenly this car, this black car, reversed and nearly run me over. So I just went bang on the bonnet. Next minute, these 4 guys jump out of the car, push me to the car, and start shouting to me in Chinese, and putting a gun to my head. And
God.
I didn't even realize he put a gun to my head. I said to my boyfriend, I was saying, look, are you going to let him talk to me like this? Da, 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 da. You shouldn't talk to me like this. Da, 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 da. And he said, shut the F up. There's a gun. I said, I don't care if there's a gun at my head. You should be doing this and you should be doing that. And then suddenly he said, and I went, there's a gun at my head, isn't there? And he said, yeah. I went, okay. And then suddenly the fear filled me then. But I didn't have the fear at the beginning. Do you see what I mean about when you're in this power mode, when you're in something that you want to address in a strong strength, you don't see what's going on around you. You just don't. It's only until someone affirms it, then it's almost like, shit, this is happening. There's a gun ahead. So that was my experience of strength as well.
Oh, wow. Well, you've had some incidences, haven't you? My God, and you're here, and
Yeah.
when someone meets you, and I think that's testament to you.
Yeah.
Unless you tell them, they would have no idea of what you've been through in your life.
I stay quiet. I stay in the backdrop. You know, I mean, I bring my, I think, to be honest, the way that I write my songs and the way that I put all my energies into my voice, and that's why I have such a voice of many tones and many colors, because I put all my energy into the singing voice, in my singing, and that's what got me through everything. I mean, I've had counseling. I have had counseling, and I've had to have that. And then from there, we broke up, me and the record company, because everything was going great, and then suddenly one of the owners had cancer, and then my own boyfriend got attacked on the train and got scared, so we went to Malta. And then this is a really strange story in the way that things happen. That's really weird. I was before he went to Malta, he said to me, there's a party for the record label, but he said, I can't go, because he was ill. And he said, can you go? I went, okay, I'll go. So the owner of the whole buildings came out and to greet me, because I was thinking, I don't know anybody, I'm scared, you know. Usually I'm with my boyfriend, and you know, I just stay in the background. And I was greeted by the main guy of the party, and he came in and said, I want you to meet someone. He said, and I went, okay, I'll introduce you to someone. I went, okay. And so he introduced me to this really tall guy, I remember, tall guy. And it was, it turned out to be Phil Strongman. Now, Phil Strongman is the novelist for John Lennon FBI Files, and he was connected with Sex Pistols, their life story, and lots of other things, lots of other films. And I remember I was talking to Phil. Everything was fine. Just, just chit chat. Nothing, just network really. Nothing that. And suddenly we get to meet this musician. And he was talking about he'd just come from Malta. And it was really weird. And he said, what's strange? He said, I've just been recording with the guy from Malta, which happened to be Dave Goodman. And Dave Goodman was the producer of the Sex Pistols. So, and it was really weird because, and he said, this musician and Phil was knowing each other like this. And I was thinking, that's strange because what was it now? Yeah, I've been to Malta. That's it. I've been to Malta. And so they were saying, oh, okay. So what happened then was this Gary then presented me with this letter of Dave Goodman, which is a Christmas letter that his wife usually puts out every year. But the thing is, what was really weird was Dave Goodman brought us all together, the spirit of Dave Goodman, because he died a year before in 2005, and 2006 was when I met Phil and this. And then, of course, I went to Malta. I had this, and I get to meet this. I mean, as well as doing shows and everything, I get to meet his partner, Kathy Manuel, who has just been a soul sister to me in every way. I mean, she got me through. She got me through a lot of things that happened on Malta. I lost my child, and she was there for me too, because he was a stillborn. And it was the guy that was the record owner went to Malta because he felt it was a safe place. And so I think in hindsight, I think I went over there to stalk him, really. I think because in my heart, I think it's because I was rejected by my father, and then I was rejected by stepfather. So then when my stepfather died, I clung on to this guy that left me to go to pursue a life in Malta, and I wasn't going to go. But then when I met Phil and Gary and this letter from Dave Goodman, I knew I had to go. And what was weird, I was working in London, in Hartford. I was working at Bernardo's part-time, and this woman came in. Her name was Rosa, and she was Maltese. So that happened the next day. So everything was telling me Malta's calling. So that's what made me go to Malta. And I made friends with a beautiful Kathy. Kathy Manuel was just amazing. And she's been there for me all this time. I was homeless, and she took me in. And when I lost Jensen, she held my hand. And this is weird. This is another story, right? This is another story where you come across someone that is not strong enough it's about someone who's a superior to someone who's not superior, but below there, but is scared to actually say, to address something. So I was going in for tests, and I had to have 3D scan type, because there was some complication. And this visiting doctor said to me, if I was in charge of this hospital, I wouldn't let you go home. I wouldn't let you go home. You should stay for observations. There's something clearly not right here. But he said, but sorry, I'm not. In fact, I'm just visiting this hospital. And this main doctor came in, Canadian doctor, says, oh, okay, well, you're not due yet. So, yes, you can go home because we need the bed. So go home. And I went home and I wasn't feeling too good in the evening. I had Kathy Manuel with me. And they said, you know what, you're not looking well at all. I said, I know. I said, I went for some tests today. And she said, I think we should take you back. So they took me there to the hospital, and they were monitoring the baby's heart rate. And I could hear the baby just his, I could hear his heart, I could hear him beating. I could hear him beating his heart. And I was having so much faith that this, and the baby's heartbeat just faded. And then this Canadian doctor, the same doctor, said, okay, he said, this baby wants a natural birth. Your cervix is dilating. So you're going to have a natural birth. So Kathy held my hand, and I was in labor for a long time, and it felt like a graveyard. It really felt like a graveyard. And I had to push, and they said, do you want any epidural? I said, no, I don't want an epidural. I want to feel that pain. I want to feel that. So, yeah, I didn't look. To this day, I wish that I did look, but I didn't. I just didn't. I couldn't. Now, the thing is, they left the child in the same room with me because one of the nurses had met their friend of the nurse, and they were chatting and talking, and then they left the room. And so I was left with the baby in the hospital room. And by that time, Kathy went home. And yeah. And then what happened then was you have to sign everything, certificates and things, and then you go back to the hospital and you go see the main doctor again. And he goes, oh, I said, see that we've made something. Oh, I see there's been a mistake here, but don't worry because you can still get pregnant again. So don't worry about it. And I was not strong enough. I was not strong enough to fight. And neither was my partner at the time. Neither. And then I went into something where I had lots of emotions. I was angry. I was hurt. I was hurt because I didn't speak up to that Canadian doctor. I should have, and I didn't. I was hurt because I didn't look at my baby. I didn't look. I didn't. I just want to remember him alive in my stomach. I threw myself into my work, and I wrote a song, Seventh Heaven Angel. It's a bit weird because I end up screaming. In fact, I think if you play it, it's kind of, you have to turn the volume down because it just distorts. I still continued seeing my partner, and I went from being a girlfriend to a kind of bit on the side to then I went to drinking after that again, and then I went into sleeping around and going into denial and just end up getting myself into getting drunk in pubs and getting carried out, and then just being lower than low for he'd already moved on for him. And then suddenly I just decided I've had enough. I'm going to break free. And I know it's really difficult to break free, but I had to break free from my partner. I had to, because it was unhealthy. It was I got myself to such a low point where, you know, you're a girlfriend and then suddenly you're just who sees on the side, and then you're just trodden on, and then you're just a piece of shit, really. That's what I felt. So I gained the strength, and I said, I need to get out of this. I need the strength to do this. And then suddenly, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then suddenly I felt this cloud just lift from me. Lift. And then I threw myself in my work, started to write and start my children's book to my little one, to Jensen. And then I just threw myself in teaching, helping people. And then the following year, I won an award for Best Foreign Act for Malta Music Awards and everything. So that was great. It was good for that. But how I got through
That's what I want to hear, Maddie.
death. I'm going to say how I got through it.
That's what I want to hear. How you got through.
How I got through it was I had many emotions attached to it, but then I realized this child, maybe this child just wanted the live stream of this child, just wanted the experience of being in the womb, and didn't want to be born. That's one of the ways I looked at it, in the way that there's, you know, we all come in for experiences, and sometimes it's hard to say we choose what we're going to experience, but somehow deep within me, something was telling me that I was blessed that child spirit, that live stream chose me for that experience. And that's how I got to accept it. I had to accept it, and then to know that his spirit lives on. He's on the other side of the veil, in another dimension, and it was really weird because I couldn't let him go. And then suddenly I'm out at a coffee bar, and this woman, a mystic woman, comes up to me and says, "You're in pain. You need to." He wants you to let him go. He wants you to let him go. You're keeping him. You're keeping with you. He needs to go. You have to accept it with love. Have that forgiveness for yourself, because that's what it was. I blamed myself for it. I blamed myself because I should have been stronger and say to that doctor, you know, I'm staying here. I don't care. I'm staying here. But I had no voice. I had no voice. And I'd given up the drink and smoking as well, because I had to during the trimesters and everything. But yeah, she said, he wants to be, you have to release him. You have to release him with love. You just have to release him. He needs to go and go where he needs to go. He feels bound by you. And his spirit is bound by your spirit, and that wasn't the agreement. So upon that, I just kind of released him. And it was nice to hear that from a stranger who didn't know me, didn't know my life. You know, I had to do it. And there was another thing as well. During the time, my friend was doing like tarot cards, and we were just having a laugh, just not a laugh, but just tarot cards. And she said to me, "Oh my goodness, this card is saying something's going to happen and you cannot prevent it. You can't stop it. It's meant to be. It's the sword of truth. You cannot stop this." She said, "I don't know what it is." And I know what it was now. So again, that was signs. That was a different sign of things. And then I look at it in the way that, okay, I don't have children, but I was blessed to have a precious live stream within me. And I know that precious live stream has gone on to other, maybe wherever he is or she is now. Yeah. And you have to let things go. You have to, because if you keep it within you, it grows. It can grow and manifest in a horrible way. And I had no anger. I just had to just accept it, which it's the hardest thing. You know what? They say that with parents, the worst thing that can ever happen to them is not about their own death. It's about if their children die before them. I think that's out of everything that, you know, that is the worst thing that can happen to it's a parent's nightmare.
I 100% agree, Maddie. And wow, what you've gone through is just astonishing. And we don't have much time left. But I want you to.
I have so much more.
You have so much. We may have to do a part 2 in the future, but your story is just so inspiring, especially with what the kind of work you do today and what you're doing and how you're using music in your life. Can you say a bit about that? Yeah.
The strength with me in the way that for a supernatural way was I remember sleeping in the flat in Malta, and I left the gas on. And this was before I started to write the children's book. And suddenly I wake up and there's these 2 children, like angels, and they just go and they point to the kitchen, and the gas is on, and I would have been poisoned and killed. So that's one. Another one was when I was in London and I came home. And the landlord said to me, "Oh, I'm going to have people looking at the flat." So I was getting ready to go out, and I remember it was an ensuite bathroom, and I was putting my hair up, and suddenly this guy opens the door, the bathroom suite, and I turned around and said to him, "Oh, if you're here to look at the place, to look around for the, at the room, the other room, the landlord's across the room." I never thought of anything of it. Next minute, he closes the door, just looking at me puzzled, closes the door. And then he then opens it, grabs me. I could see everything had been all upturned, me and my friend's place. And he gets on top of me. And I remember navy blue and lime green here. I remember that. And suddenly he puts a knife to my throat. And I look up into his eyes and I said, "Please, God." I said, "Please, God, don't hurt me." And he got off. He sprung off completely. Next minute, I go and go on the balcony because I was so confused after everything that all happened to me and everything, after all that, the stuff with the drugs. And this is an episode that happened just after it. And I was just about to jump. And there's this this person that looks up at me with a big umbrella, a white umbrella, all white, looking up and going like this. And then I just got hold of my senses. I thought, what am I doing? What am I doing? And then I say to the guy next, I said, "Did you see that? Did you see that person with that?" And he goes, "What person? What person?" Angels, they send, guardians. And we get, in this life, we get earth angels as well to help us. Kathy Manuel was my earth angel. She is still. I think no matter what you go through, you just have to remember that the strength within you can overcome anything. And most important is, once you've got through it, I know we're talking this because it's a radio show and because but you don't bring it up and talk to other people about it, because what you're doing is reacting it, not reacting it, but you like when you put with the fire, with a fire, and you put the logs on it and it ignites. So what you're doing, you're igniting it again. So what you have to do is you have to look at it as if you are a person outside. You have to observe as if you're a third person, not the person with the attached emotion and the hurt. You look at it from that first, and then you look at it in the way of your strength. This inner being is so powerful, and it's calling out to everyone now, because everyone has this inner being. Everyone now has the potential to be who they want to be. What I conceive, what I dream, I conceive. What I desire, I require. Basically, and when you want to manifest something, you have to not only think of the thinking process of it, but you have to connect the feeling to it. Actually feel that it's actually happened in real time. But it hasn't happened in real time. But because you're putting the feeling body and the emotions to it, because you're doing that, then it's a case of it brings it through. But the moment you place doubt, it's coming through all this different dimension of time, space continuum, coming through your dream, your wish is coming through. Suddenly you put doubt to it. Whoa, it's rebounding all the way back. But guess where it goes? guess where it goes? It doesn't come back to you. Somebody else over there has been dreaming the same thing. So then it goes, oh, this is the one that wants it.
Wow. Wow. That is one of the most spiritual things I've ever heard. It's absolutely beautiful. The, just the kind of person you are today. I mean, I still can't get over everything you've talked about in this discussion we've had, and the amount of people I am certain that you've helped by being with us today.
Do you
I
think
couldn't.
so? I
I
hope.
You have helped people who've experienced abuse in many ways. I'm sure you've helped people who've experienced loss in many ways, and not just loss of a tragic loss like you talked about in Malta with your little one, but also loss of a person leaving, or loss of a potential group that made it, and then you found out that's your song, the song that you first sang. You know, all these things
And
you know,
what's really important now is to say, if you're living on your own, or if you feel you've come out of a relationship, there's so much love in this world. Think about the love of your family. Think about the love, the way that the sun kisses the land. Think about the way the constructive insects are. Think about the beautiful colors of the world. Think of how the animals are so loving with each other. Um, think about also when you're feeling really down and feeling, oh, why is it happening to me? If you think of others that are really in desperate need, desperate where they're just trying to survive for food, they don't have clean water, it gives you strength, and you have to be gratitude. You have to every day, you have to be grateful and say your gratitude. That's first and foremost. You need to say thank you. And for inventions, when people invent something, think about the love that was put into inventing that. Not about the process when it goes to the factory and someone's having a bad day and inputs all that negative energy into it, or that boss of that certain line is not happy to it. You have to think of the primal source of it. And the source it came from was creativity, which is love.
wow. You know what? I'm just gobsmacked with the wisdom and with the knowledge and with all the experiences that you've been through. You are one brave soldier. You are a warrior. You are a survivor. And not only have you survived, you are now a thriver. You are thriving. Just to close, just to finish off, very briefly, if you may, what is cotv-edu.com about? And just very briefly, what kind of work you're doing today, and how can you help others with this work?
How I can help others basically is our tones and registers of our voice. When you go to a singing teacher, you learn about the tones and registers of the external voice with the piano and everything. What I teach is about the internal voice, all the emotions and the colors. And because of my experience, when someone sings, I can tell if there's a certain block there. Not necessarily I talk to them about the actual matter of it, or the experience, or the what they went through, but how we can work through it. And I kind of base it in the way of energy wheels, but I try not to connect it with chakras and things like that, because people somehow with labels, I understand it perfectly. They're going, oh, it's like that, is it? Oh, but I don't want to follow that. So I connect it to roots of the tree, which is the lowest part of your voice, which is not your speaking voice. It's your root voice. And then moving up from the soil up to the plants and the sea. And so the lower voice would be the plant coming out of the soil. And then nighttime closing, you're closing, and then you're going to go into your middle voice. And then your middle voice is the sun is rising. So then you start working through that middle voice, the chest voice. And then you need to have some power, which is the power of your head voice and your chest voice, which is a mixed register voice. Now, when you say that, it's like, right. So I say, imagine something that's powerful to you. For me, the most powerful thing on earth, to me, is a mountain. It's a triangle shape, so it has support, and it's strong, and it's mighty, and it's majestic. And you can think of something of sacred geometry, or even a house or a build, anything, but anything that means to them strength. So then they work the strength of their voice, and then we travel with the voice. After that, once we reach the head voice, then they have to travel as far as their voice range is, not the voice range according to scales, but the voice range according to their journey of their emotion, the colors and tones of their voice. And so I imagine a lotus flower opening out like this. And when you apply visualization, you do not, you're not attached to the outcome. You're just following the journey of your voice and enjoying the colors and just loving it. And then you reach notes you've never reached before. Some of my students go, wow, I've never reached that note before. No, sound, because it's not a note, because it's not exact note. So I do that, and that helps them to discover their voice. And their voice could be where they want to sing that song, or they want to talk to that person they've been wanting talking to, and they can't seem to get the words out. They seem stuck. It seems, yeah. And they can go on that trip. Musicians can, they love their playing of their instrument, so they can sing. They'd love to be able to express and sing. I also do songwriting as well, in the way that they write it, though. They write it. I'm there as a guide, and I help them with vocal melodies, but the song is about their message they want to convey, their colors, their tones, their everything, their subject matter, whatever they want to come through. I'm a guide for that. And I listen to the Sacred Heart, because I know the Sacred Heart. I know love. I know divine love. I know a mother's presence love. I know, and I'm connected. I'm connected with that love. And if only more people would tune in to the love rather than the fear or the doubt. At least, you see, the thing is, we can't stay in the middle anymore. Before, we could stay in the middle, right? We could go from good, bad, whatever. We could do this, yeah? But in the next, now we are progressing where we have to decide. Choose the path of fear and love, choose the path of fear and sufferings and all this, and you'll continue being a record stuck continually. And you'll think, how come this is not working for me anymore? How come this food is not, how come this substance that I'm taking is not working? How come these people that I'm around is not working anymore? And then you tune into that love where it's unconditional. You're not looking for an outcome. It's the acceptance of the present moment. It's just breathing into it rather than having anxiety about it.
Well, Maddee, this has been one of the most emotional and strongest discussions I've had on my show, and I would like to thank you from my heart. I mean, some of the responses we've had and I've been able to even go through it because I just wanted to hear you. And I didn't want to interrupt you, and I'll probably share that with you later. But already, the response I've had has been phenomenal. So I would like to thank you for giving me your time. I hope you have been honored the way you deserve to be honored. In you know, you're a fighter, you're a soldier, you're a lover. You come from a place of love. You've been through some travesties and tragedies in your life, but yet you are here spreading this message of hope.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
50 years old, but
And you're 50,
yeah.
and you don't even look 50. It's beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much, Maddie. And till the next time, we've got to have a part two. Thank you.
Saf, thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you for letting me be part of your surgery. This is the best surgery that anyone can have. If you're going to have actually, everyone, you know what? If you're going to have surgery, seriously, then Saf's surgery is the one to book yourself into because you're going to get results.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Maddie. Wow, thank you. That was Maddie, and I probably the longest discussion I've had.
Did I say too much? Did I say
Yeah,
too much?
no, you're still on. We're still live, Maddie. We're still live. Yeah, Maddie's. I put Maddie's now in the green room, so she is watching us. So I'd like to thank you all for watching this incredible story of an incredible lady who's come through travesty, tragedy, and now she is triumphant through her spirituality and through her music. God bless Maddie. God bless all of you. Until the next time, see you next week, same time, 7 p.m. Wow, what thank you, Maddie.
Hey, and share this, then to share their story too. It's
Share
not
your
about
story, man. It's and I hope, oh, it's been amazing. I look forward to your response.